What's up, guys? Dave here, Relative Martian. Thanks for joining me. Just got this 2013 GMC Acadia. I'm getting ready to clean it up, change the oil, make sure it's ready to sell to a customer. But there's a few things I noticed that the previous owner, this is a one-owner vehicle, the previous owner can do a few things to keep a vehicle from rusting out. So I thought it was a perfect candidate to use as an example to show you a few things that you can do in your normal maintenance just to keep your vehicle from rusting out, that'll keep those known spots from getting rusty on your vehicle. And I guarantee it, if you do this, your vehicle is going to look better than the rest and it'll last longer. Alright, so I've got this degreaser sold at the dollar store. It's called Awesome. It's the best degreaser on the market. This is actually cut 10 to 1. So I get a big gallon of it. I put about this much in the bottle, maybe an inch, and I fill it with water. Cold water, amazing stuff. So we're going to use this as a first layer to remove any salt buildup in the known spots that rust, just to remove it, and then we're going to put a protective coat on these spots. Alright, once you're pretty sure you use the degreaser and you've got all the cracks cleaned of salt and dirt and debris and all the nasty stuff from winter, come in and repeat the exact motion with an interior cleaner. Don't use an exterior cleaner like a wax that you spray on the outside. Use the interior cleaner because this is you're gonna get some overspray on the plastics, and this will not. I'm actually gonna use this to detail the engine. This interior cleaner, so all these plastics in here will have the same finish. I don't want to use the exterior polish on the wax of the inside of the engine bay. So we're going to use the interior cleaner, clean the inside right around the lip of the hood. When you spray that on there, spray it right towards the cracks, especially on the latches. And your overspray will get around everything and just wipe it off. While you're doing the lip of the hood there, make sure you clean this latch real good, just the latch to hold the hood down. Get a lot of salt, dirt, moisture trapped in there. Clean that out real quick, just a couple of sprays right in there. Wipe it down. 15-20 seconds, nice and easy. Now real quick, I'm going to do the inside of the top of the fender here, right up in here. Ooh, you can see that already falling out of there. We got a lot of salt and dirt trapped up in there, and you'll notice every vehicle that's 7-8 years old has rust in the fender walls. So I'm going to do one side at a time. I'm going to spray a whole lot of this Awesome up inside the fender wall there and just wipe around the inside of that lip as tight as we can. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that in the video. That's all salt and dirt caked up in there causing rust. Just make sure you keep this off the exterior paint. Only get this inside the fender. If you do, it's not a big deal. Just wipe it off right away. Don't let it sit. We'll just let it run down each side a little bit before we wipe it. Alright, sorry about that. I had a brief interruption. I don't know if you saw him come in, which, you know, happens from time to time, so I cut the camera, quick wipe that stuff off. But So I'll go ahead and just do it on the other side. I didn't want to let that sit up in there for too long, dripping around, so I wiped it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you see me do it on the other side. Come along. Get right up in that lip there again. Oops. There's a separation in the lip between the fender and the plastic fender lining. You'll notice. So you're basically trying to spray into that and letting the degreaser run down that crack. If you spray a lot, it'll do it no problem. Once you spray a bunch of that, just come on by, spread your hands on your gloves so your fingers are right in the middle, so you can get your fingers inside there and run that lip. See that? That's what we want out of there. So what I'm going to do when I detail the car, I wax it. I don't know if you saw my how to detail a car or how to prepare your car for sale videos, but when I wax the vehicle, I clean the wheels and tires at that time. When I do that to this vehicle, I'm going to clean also the fender lining inside the fenders. So we're going to come back later with the interior cleaner and clean inside the fender walls to give that plastic that nice black sheen. Sometimes if I don't use the interior cleaner on the fender lining, I'll use the same tire, the tire cleaner that I use sometimes too. Either or work great for that black plastic fender lining. Alright, now the hood is clean, free from salt, fender liners all free from salt. You'll notice a lot of these gas flaps rust out, pretty common. So real quick, we're just going to make sure we get all the rust or all the dirt and salt out of there. We're going to just use a regular, like a detail spray We can use a lot of it up, and then we're gonna wash over it later anyway. So we're just gonna spray a bunch of this in there all over. We want to use a lot, so we're sure to get all the cracks, and it's sure to run out. There's a lot of seams around in here. We're going to come back and wash the car anyways, but that's why we're using this instead of the interior cleaner. But if we spray a lot, it's going to run through the cracks and let a lot of it run out naturally, so we don't have to wipe it off. This spray bottle is jacked up too. Incidentally, what the hell? It's usually not quite so messy, but whatever. Get that all nice and clean. Make sure you get around the rim, get inside. Might be a good idea to take this cap off, clean underneath of it real good. Make sure you don't spray any of that inside your gas tank. That would not be good. And just make sure you don't have any big spots or drips. We're going to wash the car anyhow. If you're not washing your car like I am, make sure you wipe that out real nice and smooth. Buff it out with a clean rag. But I'm going to come back and wash the whole thing anyway. So anyhow, after we do wash it, that'll look real nice. Good. Okay guys, when you do the doors, it's going to be the same on all 4 doors. Just do your interior cleaner. Spray a lot of it right around the bottom of that seam, right along the bottom of the door, and then right up on the inside of the outside, and into the door jamb as well. You don't need so much on the outside, but when you get down here, you want to spray a lot of it. And there's these little holes. Try to spray some into there too, so that this stuff runs on the inside of the door. You can see it run back out of there, so. And just a little bit up there. And I'll remove this from the bottom last. So I'm going to go up through the door jamb, just give this a quick wipe. This will get another actual wipe when I do the interior cleaning, but this gets about 70% of it off right away. And it don't take long. I mean, you're talking a minute, 2 minutes per door, maybe 3 minutes. That's it right there. You do that, you spend half an hour to an hour doing this stuff to your car. You don't even have to do it every time you wash your car, but if you do it at the end of winter, you know, after you get that rainfall and it rinses a lot of the salt off the roads, then you do it again once before winter, before you get that first snow. I'll tell you what, you're putting that protective barrier on there, and you're removing all the catch spots. You know, you're cleaning all them catch spots out, and then you're putting that protective barrier on there. If you do that twice a year, I suggest, if you have time, if you can, depending on what kind of vehicle you got, I suggest doing it every time you wash your car. If you run through a car wash or something, you know, when you get home, just quick hit these spots. If you can't, if you're real busy, or that just seems like too much, do it right at the end of winter, once there's no more snow and you get a little rain, so you clean the roads off, and also do it right before winter, so you have that protection to carry it through winter. So, this is pretty easy here. So I'm going to do the same thing I did on this door to the other 3 doors. Then I'm going to come back when I wax the car, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that wax coat on there, and then I'll lightly remove it. But that's going to basically put a couple layers of protection on there. Makes it easier to wipe off next time as well. But ultimately, we're eliminating the ability for salt to get stuck in them traps, and we're removing anything that is trapped in there. So, alright, if you're in an SUV like this, or whether you're in a pickup truck or a car, the last spot known to rust is going to be in the very back. Either on the hatch or the tailgate or the trunk. Right around the hinges, especially on Jeeps, man. Right around the hinges, you get a lot of salt and debris and dirt stuck in there, and if you don't clean them, that's where the rust is going to start. So when we do that, we want to wipe down these struts real quick, and then just spray the hinges. I'm using an interior cleaner. Just spray it in the hinges, and then just a little bit inside the door jamb there. We'll let it soak a little bit. It'll basically just come around and wipe it off. I like to get the seals, door seals real nice. Start with the edge of those door seals, wipe it out clean. And when you get into the hinges, make sure you get right into the crack of that hinge, because that's where it's all stuck. So when you spray that stuff, you kind of want to spray a lot. More than you normally would spray right around them hinges, just so you can get it to kind of, you know, absorb and soak some of that salt right out of there. Pretty quick and easy. Then just kind of like the hood of the trunk, make sure you get the lip right on the bottom of the tailgate if you're in an SUV. Or a car, I guess, on the trunk. It's all about them creases. Clean them creases. And that, folks, is about all there is to it. I guess it probably took me maybe a half an hour to do all that. So alright guys, pretty quick and easy actually. You can do that, like I said, if you do that twice a year, your car's not going to rust out. And if it does, it's going to be much slower than everybody else's car out there that doesn't do these things. So tell you what, if you get yourself a new vehicle or you got yourself a nice vehicle, do these things. It's rust preventative. It'll make your vehicle look good for a long time, I assure you. Especially if you wash it and wax it once or twice a year. If you do, you should do it the twice a year that I talked about. Right before winter and at the end of the winter. When you do that, do this as well. Make sure. This is probably more important than the whole wash. Doing these things I just showed you. So anyhow, I'll put the link below in the description to the awesome degreaser, also to the interior cleaner and exterior cleaners that I use. These bottles are not the actual bottles. I buy them bigger bottles and I fill them up. So I'll put the links below. My cleaning products are the best around. I'd try them out. So check the links. I sure hope this video helps you out. If it does, hit the like button. Please subscribe. My name's Dave, Relative Martian. Thanks for joining me.